Hello and welcome. I'm Exelite, and this is my podcast. Today I have Rob, of course. Hello, Rob.
Hi Tracy, how are you?
I suck.
Was that a stupid question?
Other than that, I'm awesome. Couldn't be better.
Excuse me.
So, today we're going to talk about something that we've talked about before on podcasts, and that is near-death experiences. By the way, please, if my voice does this, it's because I had a tube down my throat for several hours. It just won't go away. Um,
That's what they all
anyway,
say.
oh my God, I just walked right into that one. um, See, this is why I like to talk to you, Rob, because you make me feel better. So, anyway, we've had discussions about near-death experiences and whether they're chemically induced by your brain, like science says, or if it's a religious experience. Um, we had one between you and Jeremy that we lost.
Yeah. Oh, that's still not. Me and Jeremy need to do that again.
Yes, you do. But today it's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to talk about moi, although I always do seem to talk about moi. But today we're going to talk about the day I died. Rob.
Yeah. What's wrong?
Is that right?
Yeah, apparently.
Are we not? Is this the wrong one? Did I show up on the wrong day?
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the day you died.
The day I died. All right. So, do you want me to explain what happened, and then do you want to? If you want to, then you can ask me some questions.
I
Okay.
think that's the best way to go, yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. So I had to have a major surgery, and before having the surgery, I was concerned. I was. I'm not fond of general anesthesia, and I voiced the concern that I was nervous about the general anesthesia to pretty much anything that wasn't nailed down. And but I think that's fairly common. But I just had a strange feeling, and it was even more peculiar because I wasn't particularly. See, I told you guys I can't say that word. Particularly worried about the general anesthesia the closer I got, but it was on my mind that I felt that I just felt like something was going to happen. And so in the days leading up to the surgery, I sort of made a conscious effort to, talk to everybody I wanted to talk to, say everything I wanted to say, tell my kids to take care of their dad, and let him get remarried if he felt like he was ever going to top me, and be nice to that woman, that kind of stuff, So I go to the hospital, and my husband goes with me, and two of my children, Josh and moderator Maya, they go too. And so the getting me enrolled and stuff, I admitted, but really particularly, it felt really fast, faster than usual. Usually you have a lot of time to sit around. But it was going really quickly, and then the anesthesiologist came in. By the way, the tallest man I've ever seen. I don't know if that matters or not. But he walked in, and we all were like, what? Anyway, he spent a long time talking to me about issues like I have asthma, have not that you guys need to know all my medical stuff, but my EKGs always come up weird, and I've seen oncologists about it. I've been hospitalized for it twice. I've had every test done that you can possibly have to make sure that your heart is fine, and my heart. They've always said your heart's perfect. It's perfect. We don't understand why the EKG comes up wonky. And what happens is the EKG says that I've had a massive, well, they either call it a massive incident or a massive heart attack on the left side of my heart. And it's every single time I get an EKG, to the point where the hospital eventually told me to just tell anybody who does an EKG on me that it's normal for me. So, because it tends to freak people out if they think you're having a heart attack in their office, which can be fun. But always ends up with me in the hospital. So I had gotten my EKG done as a pre-admittance thing, and I could tell I told the lady who did it was going to show up. Don't worry about it. You're good. I could tell by the face of the lady who it was given to that she was like, and I said, don't worry. It's fine. My cardiologist has told me to tell everybody it's fine. And then here was the anesthesiologist asking me questions like, have you ever had chest pain? Have you ever had tightness across your chest or your back that just felt off? And I said, are you referring to my EKG? And he said, well, yeah. And I said, just what I'm telling you guys. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And so he was like, okay, so you're absolutely sure. Yes, my husband's here. And my husband was like, we're absolutely sure. This has happened a lot. So, okay, fine. But he stays there for a very long time. And he tells me, I will not leave you if I do not feel like you're breathing well when you're coming out of surgery. I will not leave you. I will not take the tube out. The tube will remain, and I will sit with you while you're recovering. And I will not leave you until you are, like, what was it I said to you, Rob? Okie dokie, or?
Yeah, okie dokie.
Yeah, okie dokie. I don't know why, but that particular, it just stuck out to me that he said something like that. And so he said, I won't let you die. And I was like, well, that's a good thing. And I said, besides that, will you let me? And he was like, I won't let you wake up in the middle of surgery. And I was like, okay, just don't let me wake up in the middle of surgery, because that would be not good. He says, no, I'll stay with you the whole time. He's in there for like 30 minutes, which I've never had an anesthesiologist do. I had him come in, shake my hand, be like, we're going to give you the goofy juice, and then we're going to take you back. And that's about it. But this guy just was really good. So as they were taking me out, he looked at my family and he said, I will make sure that she's fine. Because I have a 17-year-old son who thinks he's a grown man, but he does love his mom, and he was worried. And it was like all over his face. So that was really nice that they talked to him. So we go back, and as normal, and as I'm going back, I am thinking about the fact that I have that feeling. There's a feeling about the anesthesia. And when we had been in the room getting ready, I had said to my husband, now listen, if something happens to me and I have this percentage rate of coming back, normal, then go ahead and keep me on life support. But if it's below this percentage, I want you to take me out of life support. If I have this percentage rate of living but having brain damage, do not do that to me. Take me off life support. And like Maya was listening and stuff, and I was like, make sure, Maya, that you're hearing me so that we're all on the same page. And so I was just scrolling down, like, I don't want to live through this or that or this or that. I would like to live if he says there's a 10% of chance of brain damage, don't pull the life support. You can give me a little bit of a chance, right?
Yeah, everybody was thrilled with you.
I know. I just.
Prophet of doom, bloody hell.
Well, it's something you need to talk about your family with. It's important.
Yeah, I know, but with the whole with the anaesthetist going, don't worry, she'll be all right. I'll make sure. Then you going on about.
Well, no, this is after. I did this.
Oh.
I did this before he came in.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I did this before he came in, and and I was like, this is what you're gonna do with my body. Make sure you do this, that, and this. And everybody's like, oh my God, But the fact of the matter is that stuff happens, and it leaves families completely torn because they don't know what to do. And you have adult children who think, oh, you should do this, and a husband who thinks, or a wife, or a partner, whatever, thinks, well, I want to do this, and and it's just, here's my directions clearly. And by the way, yes, I know I should write that down. Anyway, so as we're going in, I am feeling like a sense of calm about whatever my feeling is about this anesthesia. And what I do is
name that tune.
Yeah, I do say a prayer that when something happens, that they have like a certain kind of numbness to get through it. Just let them get through it. And then, furthermore, let them not fall apart. So it's just because, I was sort of like, but I just wanted them, like, I don't want my 17-year-old to like be stuck at that age. You know what I mean? Just let things go. So we go in and I get onto the bed and he goes, okay, Tracy, I'm gonna put you to, and that was it, boom. And right before that I thought, at least if I die, when it kills me, this anesthesia thing, I won't know it, right? I'll be here, then I'll be gone, unless I go to hell. But even at that point, I wasn't thinking, and what about hell? I just didn't. It was just very calming. So I go under, and then at some point, my surgery was 7 hours. So I don't know at what point this happened, but at some point, we're getting to the part you guys came here for. Sorry. That took a long time. Everybody take a drink, go to the bathroom, get something to eat. We're coming back. So I feel as though I have been... Okay, now it's really hard to communicate with words, feelings. And this really is all about feelings, just a knowledge, a knowing, a being. So please bear with me. I feel as though I have sorry, that tube that I have been drawn into this space. It's black as black, but I'm given a feeling that I'm in a waiting room, that there's other beings there besides me. the image is sort of, that's what it is. The image is like put in my brain that, not my brain, it's obviously not my brain. The image is put in me that I'm in a waiting room. And I felt as though I was given this image because it's a calming, everybody knows what it's like to be in a waiting room. It's not hard to understand. So for first world people, you get the concept of a waiting room. And so, but when I went in, it felt like I was being drawn in, like little parts of me, until the whole part of me went in. And I didn't feel scared. It didn't feel ominous in any way. It just sort of felt blank. And I thought, but I wasn't thinking. It was just my conscience, or I don't know how to explain it, said, I died. Which didn't seem surprising to me because I felt like I knew that was going to happen in the first place. And there were around me 3 or 4 voices, male voices, but they didn't talk. The information they were saying was just became known to me. And it was sort of a, yeah, but we have something else to talk about. And it was really kind of like that, like, oh yeah, there's that. But this is why you're here. And I was given this flashback of not puppies, not family members, not my life, of this anesthesiologist. And him talking to me about my EKG. And me saying, it's fine. It happens all the time. It's totally fine. And I had this overwhelming feeling that it's not fine. That it's time to stop saying it's fine. That there's something there's something wrong. And when I had died on the table, I stopped breathing and my heart stopped. So I had this knowledge that I have to go see a cardiologist. That it's been too long to be able to use that, as it happens all the time. And can I just say, this has happened to me for 8 years. So in 8 years, something else could have happened, right?
Oh,
Although
yeah.
it's been 2 or 3 years since the last time I've seen the cardiologist and was in the hospital, had all the tests done. But even then, 2 or 3 years is plenty of time to have something happen, as you know, Rob.
Yes.
And to not know about it. People think when they see somebody have a heart attack or something, they think it's like on TV. And it can be. But for a lot of people, and women in particular, heart incidents can happen without them knowing. And it happened to Rob.
That. Yeah, it can happen and you don't even know it's happening.
Yeah. Maybe you do have a tightness in your chest or pain that went down your arm. And first off, for one thing, for my whole life, I've had pain that goes down my arms. So for me to pinpoint and say, oh, it was that's not possible for me. I like pinched nerves or something. It's been since I was little. But there was nothing I can look at right now and think, well, that was probably it or something. There's just nothing, which is very common and something we don't hear about, is how common it is. And then and that's your warning sign, but you don't get it because we excuse it if it does happen, or ow, my chest is hurting. I need to sit down, take a break. Just give me a minute. And that could have been just the incident that should have been your warning. So anyway, like I said, I had this overwhelming understanding that I was going back, there was no option. I didn't get to see, Jesus. I didn't get to see Gates. I didn't get to see my life. It was just very calmly like. But the one thing about the room that I do want to say is, now I was raised where you don't believe in reincarnation. It's just you die, and then so I was raised as everybody. I think everybody who comes here regularly and hears us talk. You're Catholic. I was raised Christian, and well, I don't really gravitate towards organized religion. I do have some, beliefs. But anyway, we've since doing these podcasts and whatnot, the thought of reincarnation really has become more of something I kind of starting to believe more in. And as I was in this room, it was very much that it felt as though it was a waiting room. That the other beings that were in this room with me and who didn't talk or anything, probably having their own whatever they were doing, would be leaving. I don't know.
You probably couldn't get a word in.
Probably not. I was probably supposed to stay, but they were like, Jesus Christ. I was like, yes, where is he? He's busy. He had to wash his hair today. I got the feeling that this was a place where you would pass on to maybe another life. Not necessarily heaven or hell, but start a new life over again. It felt like that very much to me. And then I started to wake up a little bit, of course, in the recovery, and there was my anesthesiologist. Not that I could see him or anything, but I could hear him say, "I'm here." And I tried to talk, and the tube was down my throat still. And then when I did wake up, my family had told me that they had come out and told them, that we had an issue.
An issue.
A tiny little issue. Yeah. So there you go. That and my husband wasn't allowed to be in the recovery room for some reason. And the first thing I said to him when I did see him was, "I died." And he was like, "We'll talk about it later." And of course, I just went back to sleep again. And then later, I woke up, and the first thing I said again was, "I died." He was, "Yeah, okay, we'll talk about it later." So eventually, we did he didn't want me to freak out under a ton of medication, which personally I thought was the best time. If I'm gonna freak out, let it be under a lot of medication, please. Takes the edge off.
You sent me a message that absolutely made no sense whatsoever.
I did?
Well, yeah, you did.
The text message?
You sent me a messenger saying, and I messaged you back and said, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Oh. Must have been, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, nobody should have given me a phone then. Sorry about that, Rob. I hope there weren't any pictures involved.
No, there weren't.
So, anyway, that's my experience. Rob.
Do you know what I think happened?
Rob.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I know you've been there.
I've been there.
I think you're all ready to move on to the next room, to the gates. And they said, "This will never stop talking. Send her back." Can't get a word in. Just send her back. She'll be all right.
She'll be fine.
We keep trying to explain what's happened, but we can't get a word in. Just send her back. Send her back.
All my relatives were like, "Oh shit, that's right." Never mind. Whatever.
Do you? Well, we've talked about this obviously a couple of times. Do you think that the reason you couldn't, when you were in the room, or your interpretation of a room, and you couldn't see or hear anything, but you got the impression about reincarnation?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that maybe you were in that room because you were going to come back and you weren't supposed to see anything different?
Maybe. I don't really know, but I do distinctly remember feeling as though I was going to go on to my next life, and it turned out I woke up in the same one. I was like, wait, what? But I did. Maybe it was because it wasn't. It was more of an. Because I've heard about people who have near-death experiences, and they see all this wonderful stuff, and then they're given a choice of whether they wanted to go back or not. Maybe I didn't have a choice, so therefore I didn't get that experience.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was. This is so funny. This is so me. I was highly disappointed with my experience. I was like, can I have another? Can't I see the lambs and the lions laying together? Can't I have some psychedelic shit happen?
Probably because you keep saying it in that stupid voice.
Can I go haunt Rob?
Can you what? Haunt Rob? Well, that's what you said. Ask Rob.
Haunt Rob.
Oh dear me.
I can't explain why I didn't get to see anything other than it just was unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah, because if you'd have seen loads of beautiful stuff, then like some people have said that they're disappointed to come back,
Yeah.
even when they've got like lovely families like you and lovely husband like you, and maybe.
And that's another thing is that I wasn't concerned about my family at all.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that a lot.
I didn't have that. Oh my God, I hope they'll be okay. Or I didn't even. It was just like that was done. You're done. You're moving on.
Yeah.
The door closes, and then you just move on. Except for I just got shown this extraordinarily tall anesthesiologist. I literally knew that guy for 30 seconds, and that's who I get shown. Yeah, but God and I are gonna have a talk about these things. Like, can you throw me a bone? And then of course, as you know, that I had a strange side effect of having the surgery or dying. That apparently it causes severe depression.
Yeah.
And anxiety, and so I didn't know that either. But yeah, that's a really good extra side effect. My father has had too. Didn't say anything about it till I brought it up to him. I was like, what happened? I don't feel right.
They throw that in for your charge.
Do they?
Yeah.
That was so nice of them. I forgot to thank them about that. I was hoping something like an invisibility cloak.
Really? That would have come in really useful for someone who doesn't like leaving their apartment.
Right? Right? See, that's perfect. Rob, you're making me sound crazy. It's not like I don't like leaving my apartment. I just don't like people.
Okay. I'm completely. That's going to really help you. I suppose it would help you. You they wouldn't be able to see you.
See? Oh my god. Anyway, you can admit it. You were sad.
I was worried terribly, especially being all these miles away.
Yeah.
But it's funny you should say that you didn't have any kind of regret. But if you think about regret and sadness and things like that, they're human concepts, aren't
Right. Yeah. Right.
they? So maybe we don't have that when we do pass on to the next, whatever the next.
Yes. Right.
It's
That's good. Ooh. Right, because I didn't, because I explained it to you and said it didn't feel sad. It didn't feel scary or lonely or not like my, like my, um, help me, Rob. What's the word I'm looking for? Night terrors. The night terrors, when it's black, it's not like I experienced here. Completely different. The absence of emotion was what I was. I guess the absence of emotion. I wasn't. I guess that's why I say it was just like there,
Yeah.
anticlimactic. But that would be because I didn't have emotion.
Mm.
That's good, Rob.
But I mean, I do tend. I mean, it's really difficult, obviously, because I didn't experience it with you. But I do think that a lot of the fact that you were kept in this one place was the fact that you were coming back. I think that it would be really, really difficult to see all this wonderful angels and God and everything, all this stuff, all these things that are beautiful, and then getting dragged away from that.
Right.
You know, maybe
Yeah.
God's upped his game a bit and thought, well, maybe we won't show them that bit. If they're going back, we'll just keep them here.
Maybe that's it. Cause
Never know.
I don't know if I've ever heard a near-death experience of somebody who died on an operating table. I don't know if I ever have. I think I've only heard about people who have been in the hospital or in a car accident or something like that. What have you heard experiences? What were their experiences like?
Yes, I have heard of experiences of people who've died on the operating table. A couple of them that I have heard that I can bring to mind at the moment. They were doctors who needed to have an operation for whatever reason, and they were completely against religion and if they were completely believed in science, and they did see um, the loved ones, and they saw like Jesus and things like that. But maybe that is to do with the fact they didn't believe.
Right.
maybe you, because you do believe, maybe you didn't need to see all that. Maybe your belief is so set in stone that you didn't need to see all that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make?
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, obviously, it's all just guesswork, really.
Right.
Excuse me.
I mean, I could analyze it all day long. It's hard, like I said, to come up with words for how it feels. But and to say that they said to me, or they said, nobody said anything. It was just just an understanding. You were just suddenly you understood.
Yeah.
What they were what they wanted you to know. That's it. You just understood it. It was a feeling. And I definitely got the feeling that I need to go have my heart checked out. I mean, I guess if you're dying on a table, that's a good I think everybody would have that feeling about then, but but on the other hand, I don't go to doctors. I don't like it. So I do kind of procrastinate that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, but you are going to get your heart checked out because I'm going to marry you to do it.
no, yes, I am. Yes, I absolutely am. Well, yeah, because that was a scary experience. You know, when you wake up and you're like, oh shit. But anyway, so that was the thing, and as far as my surgery goes, that too was unusual, but I'm recovering, and it's going to take recovery period is about 5 weeks, so I'm going to be doing that. I'll be fine.
I mean, if nothing else, it was a really, really big wake-up call.
Yeah.
For you
I'll
to
say.
sort your shit out.
My shit is sorted. It's just what?
You know, your heart.
Oh yeah. Like, my shit is. I can't even say it. My shit is sorted out. Yeah. Well, you know it. Yeah.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah. Well, it's always been strange to me, for the record, that my EKGs show a massive heart attack. That's what they call it. That's what we say, a massive heart attack on the left side of your heart. But then there's nothing there. Well, then what is it? What's showing that? So that's always actually been in the back of my mind. Like, how is that possible? How can those two things exist together? And so anyway, I agree. It's time. It's time to go get that checked out. I have to stick around here for you, Rob.
That's it.
Yeah. I've tried jumping in front of trains.
Poor passengers.
Just gotta stick around here for you.
Poor train passengers was absolutely scared shitless.
No kidding. That's the worst part of it. That train conductor. Oh my gosh. So that's my story, Rob. Do you have any more questions?
No, not really. I think we really covered everything we can. Yeah, in the little video that I did, I was talking about maybe when you're I was trying to compare. It's not compare. Compare is the wrong word. Um, that when I had an incident where I ended up in intensive care, and I was really really poorly,
Mhm.
and we were talking about this, weren't we?
Mhm.
And I saw something,
Mhm.
and when the whole um, incident of you being in hospital and you being weak, sort of weak-willed because you're ill, because
Mhm.
could there be some kind of crossover that you saw, or you can see things or experience things that when you're fighting fit, you would be able to just not, you wouldn't be able to see them for one, and the reason you couldn't see them is because you would be able to just dismiss them completely. They
You
get
know,
you
my,
when you're
my father
weak.
had the same experience as you did when he had open heart surgery, um, and had the yes had the same experience you did, and then also had night terrors, and also when he went home, he had the same thing with his his brain not feeling like it was his brain. Um, and so when I've had more time to process and get out of this particular spot where my brain kind of isn't feeling like I'm in charge, um, then I'd really like to talk about
Mm.
that possibility. You know what it's like? It's like flatliners.
Yeah, yeah. Something comes back with you, or something's
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Because
Exactly.
because okay, I might as well. This is gonna be told some other time. This is gonna be told, but I was waking up, um, screaming afterwards and um, feeling very, very wrong. Um, and I've started, so I have started since then talking in my sleep um, quite a bit, but not where people can understand what I'm saying. Sometimes they understand what I'm saying, but sometimes they say it sounds like a different language.
Mm.
And that's a kind of a weird, possibly paranormal weirdness that came along with this. And I'll talk about that when I'm out of the woods. I don't want to talk about it in the woods.
Yeah.
But, my husband was like, because I said, I've been talking in my sleep. I just talk. And I put my arms up in the air and I'll like draw whatever it is I'm talking about. And I asked him, I said, how long has it been going on? And he said, since your surgery. And I was like, yes, yes. I would wake up, scream. I still do, jump, wake up suddenly, and like it'll help me, and it's really kind of nuts. But my dad says, and everything I look up says it goes away in like a couple of weeks after your surgery. So
Oh,
that'd be good.
we'll need to do a podcast on it.
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting.
Mm.
Talk about your experience, and and while we're talking about this, if anybody has had surgery where you're under general anesthesia and you've come out and felt different for a period of time, um, what 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 was your experience? What is your experience? What did you feel? Are you feeling? Um, and did you tell your doctor? Because my dad told his, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But leave, let us know down below if you've had any experience after or being in the hospital and feeling being very, very, very ill and having an experience, because we could talk about Rob's experience and how that happened with him.
Yep. I would really, really like to hear your scary experiences. Or maybe they're not scary. Well,
maybe they're not. All right,
okay.
Rob. Well, thank you for this.
Not a problem.
Thanks for letting me talk your ear off. Rob was my therapist. All right. Well, if you guys, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. And if you would please give this video a thumbs up, it really, really helps the channel. And if you want to be notified when my content goes live, go ahead and click that bell and choose what option you'd like. And thank you for coming. And please go ahead and leave your comments below and tell us what you think.
Yep. Really look forward to reading that.
All right. Good night.
Good night.